Welcome to another episode of Rob and Avis Ramble. What are we going to ramble about today, Avis?
I don't know. It's like a weekend wrap up. We have like the whole weekend of
We had
news
stuff
to
going on.
discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday we went to we needed to get some stuff, so we went into town. We don't live super close to a big city, so we had to head out to the big city
The big city.
and do some stuff. And you said this to me at like 5 p.m. yesterday. You were like, "Hey, why don't we head down to the big city and
Yeah.
get some stuff we need?" And I was like, "Wow, it's going to be pretty late by the time we get back because it's like a 2-hour drive for us
Yeah.
each way."
Yeah.
And so we did. We went down there. We went to the big city. We got some stuff. We came back. Got home after midnight.
Yeah.
And then this morning, my son and I, well, not our son, not just my son, our son. Yeah.
Yeah. Arguably, I was there.
You were there. You gave birth to him, and I contributed in some way we won't talk about.
Exactly.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, our son, he's training for he's got plans to kind of do a big hike in a couple months, and so he's been out wanting to get some training done. And so he and I headed up into the mountains to do some hiking. But the catch is that we met at 7.
They met at 7.
Yeah.
You and our
Me
son.
and our son. You were still sleeping when I left the house.
That's
But
true.
yeah, I got up at like 6. So in bed after midnight, up at 6, and then we went out and hiked in the mountains at some elevation. We were at 8,000 plus feet of elevation. Which
I exercised in the nicely air conditioned garage.
yeah. I'm
At
sure.
no additional elevation gain.
Yeah, that's good. I'm proud of you.
I think I played that better.
Well, we had a good time. It was beautiful. We had a good time.
That's important.
But yeah, it was some good father-son time, which I
Yeah.
enjoyed. But yeah, so I'm dragging a little bit, just being honest here. So if people are looking at me and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, I totally see that you're 50 today." Well, that's why. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Went out and did a pretty difficult hike today, first half of the day, and now I'm home. I had a steak with butter on it.
We could really entertain people though, and I could just give you a little bit of caffeine.
Yeah,
Do you need a little bump of coffee?
You can give me some caffeine. Yeah, I don't really drink coffee, caffeine. And because I don't, like when I do have it, yeah, watch out.
Yeah. All that energy you already have
that
gets
energy, I
amplified.
know.
We don't need that.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's bringing us to now. So I got home, I got showered, and checked out the socials, kind of saw what was blowing up today.
Yeah.
We did last night on our drive home. We listened to a space,
Ugh.
and yeah, it was kind of crazy. There was just a lot of get people yelling back and forth, and not so good stuff.
I've listened to spaces. I've never participated in one as far as speaking goes, and I can't even imagine trying.
Yeah,
Just trying to get a word in edgewise.
it's funny you say that because we did actually try to
Yeah.
join in the space, and people couldn't hear us for some reason. So I think because we were in the car, we were on CarPlay. I don't know, it didn't work.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure that out a little bit more, but as far as last night goes, it was just a big middle school mashup as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Insults, uneducated insults, not even worthy insults.
Yeah.
I don't even get that.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of name calling.
Yeah.
I much more appreciate good discussion.
Yeah.
And this was not good discussion, but I was hoping to kind of interject and have some good discussion, but then nobody could hear us. So that was that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think you were going to get good discussion. There was admitted alcohol use and it was not early in the day. And
Yeah.
so I just think that they were on there to argue.
Yeah.
They were not on there for decent conversation.
They just wanted to just get their beef out, and
Yeah.
yeah. So not exactly the kind of discussions I enjoy, but maybe we'll try some more. Maybe we'll try to join another one, and we'll see. Maybe one that actually has some discussion, not so much yelling. Hey, I actually forgot to turn the air down, so let me do that with our fancy thermostat here. It's Gets a little warm in this room we're in, and it's now summer,
Yeah.
and it's pretty hot.
But we don't keep the house super cold.
We don't keep the house super cold. Okay, I've bumped down the air, so
Perfect.
we'll good. All right, well let's jump on to a topic here. So today, what I kind of see going around the X socials is this discussion about. I guess there was some kind of young girl, a younger, maybe like girl that claims to be Christian, maybe trad. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I should know who she is. I don't know who she is, but I see this post being shared that she made, and she basically said something to the effect of that. She won't even consider dating a man if he is incapable of providing a house now and for the family, right? For her and the family.
Okay, now what's the family? Is that like her extended family?
I don't know. Maybe I misread that. Actually, hang on there. I've got the post. Let me look at it. That'd probably be a smart thing to do, right?
Yeah, because culturally, I think family could mean several different things.
Okay, let me read it. Let me read the exact. So it's Morgan Ariel, whoever that is here, on Twitter, and said, if he can't buy me a house, I'm not interested. This is the bare minimum if you want to take on a wife and children. So, I don't know. What do we think about that? I mean, what I would say is kind of a valid critique that I've seen some people making is, well, I mean, what does that really mean? I mean, is that just a win then for 40-year-old guys? So like, because they're probably the only ones that are capable. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Let me back up. There are certainly younger people that do that, but I think at the mass, like to find somebody who's kind of established in their career and has the ability to do that, they're probably going to be someone older, right? So if you're, I think this girl's a 20 something. So, does that mean that like she's just automatically crossing off 99% of the 20 somethings out there?
Yeah, I mean,
and is that a good idea?
I have single friends, and what I like to say is younger men a lot of times don't get super serious until they find a woman that they feel being serious is worthy of, right? So I think, like, when does he need to be able to buy the house? Is it immediately? Like, you don't date him until he can buy you a house?
Are you talking about me here?
No.
Okay.
Just talking in general, but yes,
I would say sounding like us.
Yeah. That is the trajectory that we kind of took, is that once we got together, and I think in your mind you established that, yeah, I was the one you were going to live long and prosper with, you started prospering definitely more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think men like to provide, and men, like to take care of women. And I think once they find that woman, that really kind of kicks in. A younger man. Sure, older men, like maybe they've moved past that. They're like, all right, well, whatever, I got to like move on with life if they hadn't found the one yet. And so, yeah, maybe they are more established without the woman being in their life. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fine for her to feel that way, but is she being realistic about it? And then what trade-offs is she making? So if she's automatically, disqualifying 99% of the men that are in her age group, so now what? She's going to marry somebody who's 10, 15 years older than her.
Isn't that what men want anyway?
I do think a lot of men. Yeah. So maybe this is a win for men. Yeah. Maybe. Not a win for young men, but win for older men who, yeah. But, I think to your point, I don't think you can't judge somebody who's in their 20s fully. I mean, certainly there are things you like, are they kind of a go-getter? Are they, there are things, right? But to kind of understand where they're going to be financially, I mean, so much can change in just a few years of kind of getting out there and grinding.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If they find the right kind of reason to get out there and grind, that's,
Yeah. I mean, we started dating young, and we had sort of mutual friends and then separate friends. And our mutual friends were like, oh, he's not good for you. He's a party boy.
Talking about me.
He's talking about you.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, like I never really saw that side of you. You didn't present that side to me. You just were a more mature version of what everybody said that you were.
Yeah.
So, and I had never really, I mean, I knew of your party boy reputation, let's be real, but you didn't, like, that's not how you acted when we were together.
Yeah. Those people had no idea what they're talking about.
Clearly. But
Yeah.
to my point, like, I think, like I just said, like men, once they find that person, like their drive in life sort of starts changing. And I don't think you can really judge that book by its old cover anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially at that age. I mean, you were still, I mean, I know technically you're an adult at 18 years old,
Yeah.
but you're still, there's a lot of growth, right? There's a
Oh,
lot of,
gosh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're going to change a lot. I mean, you're not even going to have, I mean, I know for myself career wise, like I didn't even have any of that figured out till I was probably 28, 29.
Yeah. I mean, you grew 3 inches after we started dating.
I know. How crazy is that? We dated at what, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I grew 3 inches after we started dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of crazy.
I mean, that just speaks to, yeah, you're not really adults. Like you feel like you're adults. And because we're Gen Xers, I think we were sort of like the level that we were almost adults compared to 18-year-olds these days. Like we were much closer to adulthood. But yeah, you still don't know half of it.
Yeah. 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 That's true.
But yeah, so I don't know. If I had required you to already be able to buy me a house, I mean, what would it look like?
Yeah, well, we wouldn't be. I'm like struggling with my mic here today. I don't
Okay.
know. We got a new mic, so we keep trying different setups, right? We keep trying different setups, and trying to kind of find the right setup for this little thing we're doing here. And I think we're getting closer. I mean, maybe this is good, but my mic, it just feels weird where it is right now.
Feels weird.
Yeah, I feel like I'm having trouble talking directly into it, but maybe it's fine.
So this is a progress day, not a perfection day.
Yeah, maybe a progress day. But I'm just tired enough today that like I'm not worrying about it too much. I'm just dealing with it.
Excellent.
So yeah, I mean, I think so let me tell you another post I saw, and I don't think I have this one handy, but somebody else basically shared it. Some, I don't know, so-called relationship guru who has like over 20 years of relationship giving advice or something.
Was this a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
Okay.
And she said something like, men expect women to partake in and she was talking about this post that I talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Partake in the homemaking or house buying. I think she was implying house buying process, right? I don't agree with that. Or what I should say is, I mean, it's fine. I don't know if we talked about this before or not, but I mean, you worked before we had kids, right? Mm-hmm. So we were both working, right? I got no issue with that. I mean, there's no issue. Women can have careers. They can do whatever they want to do, right? But I think, if you're gonna kind of go down that road of being married and, building a life together, like you shouldn't do that based on 2 incomes, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any problem with the wife working, but to say that, she has to, like, she's part of the responsibility of paying your mortgage payment, for example, mm-hmm. is, I think you're setting yourself up for a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah.
Right. Because, now you're whatever, you're 25, let's say you get married, spiritually married, maybe not married in the eyes of the law, whatever it is you do. You guys buy a house together, but you can't afford the house without both of you working, right? Now you're 28, 29, you're popping out your first kid, and maybe the wife is like, yeah, like I kind of like to stay home and raise our kid. And if you're kind of living that trad life, I mean, that's what you want, mm-hmm. but now you got a problem.
Yeah.
Right. You guys both need both of your incomes to actually afford that home that you bought.
Yep.
So what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're going to have to downsize, you're going to have to make some changes that
Tough
may
choices.
be uncomfortable to make. Right.
Yeah.
Versus if you kind of tackle it up front, of saying, well, that's fine. We're both working, but we're only going to afford the home that we can afford on what I make.
Yeah.
Then, I think you're setting yourself up for a little less stress down the road and a little more success, right? Because you got more flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So, if some life changes happen where maybe now both of you are not working, it's not such a jarring thing that could potentially cause strife in your marriage,
Right.
right? Because we all know financial difficulties in marriage is a big thing that causes problems.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you want to make sure that you're not dependent on both incomes would be my advice. Obviously, do what you want.
Well, when I heard you say that statement, I wasn't thinking financially. Obviously, my mind doesn't go there. Like, I don't feel any financial obligation to our marriage because of the way we have it set up. So when you said that, I was thinking more along the lines of the man wants the woman to help select the home that's in his price range. Like, this is the style that I like. Yes, I like the layout of this house. And so that's what immediately came to my mind. And I was thinking early in the conversation, yeah, like, why do you want a man who already owns a home? That's his home. And now you're moving into it, and it's probably never going to be your home. It's always going to be his home, which, ew.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. I mean, that's just the way that I think. Like, I never imagined when you said that statement, oh, he's wanting her to contribute financially because, yeah.
Yeah. So is that a thing? I mean,
I know it to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know friends in that position.
Who are what? They're both contributing?
Yeah, they were in a position where the wife didn't need to. I mean, she enjoys having a career, so she has a career and she's happy to have a career. And her husband is okay with that. But then as life advanced and they wanted more out of their home, a more desirable situation and location, he said to her, this is the house that I want us to get, but that means you have to work. And even though she enjoys the career, it was sort of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Now there's like some.
Yeah, now that I have to do
Right.
it, it's a weird kind of pressure that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And that's in like I know several couples that have been through that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a post that somebody shared on X a couple days ago, I think, and it was something along the lines of this wife was, I hesitate to say complaining, but sharing her woes. Maybe let's say that her husband, she worked full-time job, he worked a full-time job, but then when he got home from work, there was like she was expected to do everything in the house. Like he did absolutely nothing in the house, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, she was just like at her wit's end. She was just like, I don't know what to do. Like the stress and the pressure is killing me. And I did make a reply to that post. And I just kind of sharing just from our experience and my point of view on that is that, I think I would argue that kind of like, I mean, that trad life, I think has a lot of benefits to it. Right. For both the men and the women.
Mm-hmm.
But, if that is your arrangement, you're not living the trad life. Right. And
No.
like your wife is working and she's pulling just as much weight as you are. So, you're gonna have to make some compromises. Right. I mean, if because of financial decisions have been made that you are dependent on your spouse's or your wife's income, yeah, man, like you can't. You can't like expect her to work a 40-hour-a-week job and like also keep up on the house while you sit around and play video games or whatever it is you want to do when you're not working, right? So that's not cool. That's not manly, So if you want her to do those things, then you need to go figure out a way to, make it so that you don't need her income and you're solely making her income, and then she can be at home keeping your house clean, meeting you at the door with a sandwich and a beer or whatever it is that you want.
Was that what you want? A sandwich and a beer?
No.
Okay, good, because I've never done that.
Yeah. No.
I might have a hot steak waiting though.
Yeah, you have a lot of hot steaks waiting for me these days when I come back from something.
And really an actual steak.
We're
not meaning
steak.
anything else.
No, we don't mean anything else. No, an actual like steak that you're cooking in the oven, and
Yeah.
I'm putting butter and salt on it and chowing it down. Just did that this afternoon again.
I need a lot of sleep. So this morning when you left, I was a little bit sleep delirious and I did not make breakfast. And I was like, sorry, I didn't make you breakfast. And you're like, I woke you up. And I was like, yeah, I don't recall that.
Yeah. I did wake you up. Yeah, it was fine. So, yeah, my son and I, our son. Why do I keep saying my son?
Well, it's normal. He
Yeah,
is
it's
your
my
son.
He's my son. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you and I are having conversations, so why would I say my son? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm tired. That's it. That's just I'm tired.
Yeah.
But we went out and went to a breakfast place not too far away and got some eggs and bacon, and he got some kind of roast beef sandwich thing. I don't know, but we were eating at it.
Not a fan of breakfast food.
Yeah, he's really not. Yeah. So, but yeah, we were eating at it 7:30 this morning.
Nice.
And,
I was sleeping.
You were still sleeping. Yeah. So it's all right. I got breakfast taken care of.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think yeah, there's the traditional setup where the wife has the freedoms to be able to make you breakfast, make you dinner, like do all the laundry, take care of all the cleaning. And then there's the we both work situation where, yeah, I mean, the man is going to have to pick up some of the slack around the house.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I mean, if he, I mean, people have enough trouble in marriages, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do you really want to add that extra stress to your marriage of like you're just burning your wife out, man? I mean, what does she have
Yeah.
left for you at the end of the day, right? Like,
yeah,
that's like because I'm sure, I mean, like most men want sex and everything else. So if you're working your wife 40 hours a week at the office and now you're working her 40 hours a week at home, like she's not got a lot left for you,
yeah.
right?
And when we were both working, you did a lot more cooking and
Sure, I did. Yeah.
I've always done the laundry, but that's because I don't dare let you do the laundry.
Yeah,
That's
you
more
hate
of
it
a
when I try to do
control issue
laundry.
for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when we were both working, you definitely, took care of some chores around the house. But also, we didn't have children at that time, so there was less to do around the house.
Yeah. Once you get kids involved,
Yeah,
it changes, and I mean, we started out in an apartment, which was, I don't know, probably 1,000 square feet or something.
yeah. I could
right?
plug the vacuum cleaner in one spot and do the whole
Do the whole
apartment.
apartment. Yeah. But we have kids and we have families, and then that escalated to bigger and bigger and bigger houses, and and so it became more of a thing, right?
Yeah,
It's harder,
yeah.
but so yeah, kids.
But I did appreciate when we were, kind of upsizing and you being in charge of the finances. You were like, when we would go to look, you were like, well, this is what we can afford. This is what I wanted to afford.
Yeah.
Meaning we didn't shop at the top of our.
Yeah. Never. We've never done that.
No. Yeah. So, you were smart and, knocked us back a little bit. And we were always able to get a home that was more than suitable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But we would look at homes in the whole price range and then.
Yeah, we should. Sure. Yeah. I mean, we would say, yeah, I mean, we go look at stuff at the kind of the top of what, like the absolute maximum that I might be considering. But, and then we would make comparisons. We say, well, if we buy this place and save $250,000, like, is it, what
Right.
else can we do? Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are we making any conclusions here? I mean, I think we're both kind of agreeing on the same thing. Like, I think.
I don't think we have enough context in the tweet. But I would just say to whomever this young woman is, don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, I don't know. If you marry a man that's 15 years older than you when you're 25 and does that make him 40?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not so bad, but when he's 85 and you're 70,
yeah, getting a little more of a
that
spread there.
I think it really, starts to matter.
Yeah.
And then are you going to have kids with a 40-year-old while you're that young? I don't know. I've been, while growing up together has been challenging, I think it's been rewarding.
For you and I, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody I know that's married to somebody older talks about I know women that are married to older men, and they talk about how their man is old, or like it's always on their mind, like,
Yeah.
oh, he's
Yeah, yeah.
old, or he's an old man, and they might be kind of joking, but
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny because on the man side of that, he's probably like, "Oh, yeah, I'm married to a younger chick. It's
yeah,
great." Yeah.
sure. And I mean, I know people that have a spread and it seems really natural and they seem very happy, but there is that underlying, oh, he's older, oh, he's older, oh, he's older.
Yeah. Or from the man's point of view, oh, she's younger, she's younger,
Right,
she's younger.
yeah.
Whatever this thing was you were doing with your
I
hand
don't
here.
know. I don't know.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know either.
You're not Italian.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, I mean, speaking of 70, so yesterday on our drive to the big city, we actually talked to my brother. I hadn't talked to my brother in a couple weeks, and
It's always entertaining.
yeah,
I live for Rob's brother.
yeah, you love talking to my brother. Yeah, you always like, ooh, what drama? What's the drama? Because I mean, he's been through like, I mean, he's creeping up on 50 himself.
Yeah.
And he's on the dating market.
Yeah.
And it's always just, like he's got some wild stories. But
Yeah. Well, we care about him.
Yeah.
I'm not poking the bear for the drama, but it's
No.
always,
But it's just
there's
drama
almost
because-
always some drama.
because of just the fact of where he is in life, that
yeah.
he's coming on 50 years old. He's dating women who range from like 30
Yeah.
to, maybe 40, 45. I think
Ugh,
he's.
I don't think he's dated anyone that old.
Yeah, but I think he's willing to be in that range if
Oh,
it's the right
okay.
person is more what I'm saying, right? So I
Okay,
think that's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like his if I can find the right person in there. So, but I just a lot of baggage kind
Yeah.
of comes with that,
Yeah.
and he deals with it, right?
Yeah.
But from him too. I mean, I think he would definitely admit and be one of the first ones to tell you that everybody's got baggage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't want to make it sound like he's some perfect saint and everybody else is bringing baggage into the relationship. I mean, everybody is, right? But
Yeah.
it just makes for some kind of wild, and the older he gets and the more just kind of crazy stories it gets in his whole dating life. But that's where I was going with this whole thing is, we were talking and he's just trying to think through life. And he said something to me. He was like, yeah. He's like, I was just doing the math and,
Oh, yeah. Doing the math.
yeah, he's big math. He's math, right?
Always.
Math. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I figure I've got, roughly 13,000 days left to live. He's
Left
like,
on this rock.
left on this rock. Cause he says, yeah, what am I doing? And I was just like, dude, that's really depressing.
Rob's like, holy crap. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Cause I'm older than you, right?
Yeah.
I'm older than he is. And I'm like, yeah,
Little. Yeah.
yeah, a few years. But,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, I've never looked at it that way.
I think his math is a little bit flawed because he's basing it off of,
How long our father lived.
right.
But
and,
our dad did live almost to 90. So,
but also genetically, that's a little bit skewed because your father lived a rough life.
yeah.
So he probably prematurely took a few years off of his
So
life
you
and
think
his
if we
lifestyle.
don't, you think then that if my brother and I live like a not as rough of a life, we're active, like you're going to live to 100 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So my brother, he could add like 3,000 or 4,000 days to that. I think.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, I get what he's saying, but I
Yeah.
also think that like he's selling himself a little bit short in years.
Yeah. But it kind of like when he said it, it gave me this picture in my head. I was like, I'm going to have like this big wall and like, here's all the days left I got. And I'm just going there, crossing them off as they
Yeah.
happen. And you're like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
crap, it's counting down.
They make a calendar like that.
Do they?
A lifetime calendar. Yeah, you can tell
I
them.
don't think I need that. That's kind of stark. I don't know.
It's for like, it's supposed to be motivational of like goal setting or
Yeah.
doing hard things.
Yeah. And it, I mean, it sounds like not a long time, but it is kind of a long time. And
Yeah. We rarely measure our lives in days. We usually measure them in years. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's just because it's not how you're used to framing it.
yeah. And I've listened to some stuff from Tony Robbins over the years, and it's something that I heard him say once that's always stuck with me, and I have found to been relatively true in my life, is that you never can get as much done in a year as you think you can, but in 5 years you'll accomplish far more than you thought was possible. And kind of what I mean by that in this context is that, like, yeah, so I mean, you say, well, I'm only going to be here 90 years or I've only got 40 years left or whatever it is. Right. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't feel like I have my life together or whatever. Right. But then like 5 years from now, your life could be completely different.
Yeah.
Like you have huge change. I mean, I know we've seen that in our own lives. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, our last 5 years in the past were hugely changing, becoming empty nesters and big
yeah.
moves and careers and
Yeah. I mean, if you'd asked where we would be 5 years ago right now, I'd have never said what we're doing now. I mean,
No.
it just seemed like it was too much to bite off. So
yeah.
I think that's like absolutely true.
Yeah,
Kind of his point of view on that. So, but yeah, it's kind of this, and my brother, I think right now, is just going through this little bit of this fatalist. Oh my gosh, I only have 13,000 days to live, and
He's a little bit of a fatalist. I am too, though. So
yeah. But I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
he needs to figure out his relationship life. I mean, nobody wants to go through life alone, right?
no.
No, you hesitate. You think some people do?
No, I was just thinking, in terms of your brother, when you say nobody wants to go through life alone, but if you're with somebody that's just sucking the life out of you,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not commenting on any current situation of his,
Right, but
in
this
the
relationship
past-
he's been in, he's
Yeah.
been through some rough relationships.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I hear, we witnessed some of his relationships, and I think, oof, I might rather be alone
Yeah.
because at least like stress, it takes a toll on you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I can't speak to, like, we've never been alone, really.
Oh, you mean like you and I?
You and
like-
I, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, we've been together since we were 18. So,
Yeah. So, we don't speak out of experience. We just speak out of theory.
Yeah. Just
But-
observations of other people and friends that we have and things like that. Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to marriage, like we can definitely speak out of our own experience.
Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but talking about like dating and what it's like to be alone and what it's like, not really a concept that we personally could speak
No.
to very well because we haven't really experienced it.
No.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Your
I
brother.
got, I guess if you're around 50, I've got like 13,000 days left, according to my brother. Best case scenario. And, if you're half my age, I guess you get double that number. You got like 26,000 days or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with them?
Got to make the best of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're doing it. I think you just, I think the key to kind of like a happy-ish life is you just gotta, find something that makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you always need to be striving for something. Like I don't think you should ever just settle into where you are,
Mm-hmm. Never stop learning.
Never stop learning, never like have hobbies, have things that keep you interested and keep you going. I mean, something you and I have talked a lot about is, is like at some point, I mean, people keep asking me now, right? I'm 51 and they're like, when are you going to retire? And I'm like, I don't, this is something you and I have been talking about since I was probably 30 years old. And I've said the same thing the entire time, which is, I don't know. I mean, to me, retirement is not a concept.
Yeah.
Like, because what am I going to do? I'm going to sit around in a rocking chair and watch golf or something. Like no way.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm always going to be doing a paid job that I'm doing, but like, I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. And I think that's important, right? Because I always want to be striving and building and no matter what age I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important key to kind of keeping yourself on the younger side for your age and just having some enjoyment in life.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally we have a weekend where I think, oh, it'd be nice not to do anything this weekend.
Yeah.
And by Sunday morning, I'm like, what the frick is happening around here? Like, there is nothing to do.
Yeah. We need something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your mind active.
I've always had trouble relaxing.
Yeah,
in
this
terms
is
of-
true.
Yeah. I mean, we go to we'll go on vacation, but like I don't vacation well. Like I don't like to lay around on the beach. I like to be on the move. I like to
Yeah.
be exploring, doing
Yeah.
whatever the thing is, right? Like,
My dad came to visit us, and Rob wanted to drive him here and drive him there and drive him everywhere. And my dad is like, "Do we ever get to relax?" I was like, "You just
Yeah.
you just need to say no, Dad."
yeah.
Because Rob's idea of relaxing is driving you to all the cool things.
Yeah. I want you to see everything. Like, come, like, just look, this is cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, talk to me again in another 20 years, but I think to me, it's worked well for me up to this point in life, and I feel like it will continue to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think in our lives, like my dad, I'll go back to him. He's been a pretty good role model as far as like he had a job, he stayed in his job as long as they would let him. And then he did retire, but he has hobbies.
Yeah.
So now he rarely works, 8 hours a day, but every day he has a little tinkering that he can do to promote his hobby.
He's got something that he's like, that's his job, right? He's not getting paid for his job.
Right.
But it's his job.
And then it sort of, arcs and ebbs, and like he does things like it comes to an epiphany, and then he has some downtime again, and then it comes back up again. So, and like he always has something that he's tinkering with or working on, or gosh, give him something mechanical. He'll swear there's something wrong with it, and he'll take it apart and put it back together. So I think like in my mind, that's kind of what your life will evolve into when you're done with your 9 to 5 getting paid job, is you'll have something that needs a little bit of attention every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably fair to say that. I mean, I think similar. Like I love what I do for work, and I want to continue to do that as long as I can until somebody says, like, "Hey, man, you're just screwing too many things up. Your mind's getting slow or whatever," right? So, and that's fine. That's fair whenever that happens. But I mean, I still enjoy what I do. So then I'll go find something else that I enjoy that I do, and treat it like a job.
Yeah. I don't have concept of retirement. I don't see my life ever really changing until, like you said, maybe my mind goes, and then
you're gonna retire from housewifing.
Yeah. Oh, is that a thing?
I don't know. How does that work? Who's housewifing then if you retire?
A maid.
A maid. Okay. Yeah.
Not another wife.
So that's the next thing we're striving for. You're gonna hire some live-in help and.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I mostly enjoy the things that I get to do around here. Occasionally I complain, but so does everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody complains about their job now and again. That's natural. Even housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Anything else we need to talk about? I mean, I feel like you have yet to bring a good topic. Do you have a topic?
No, it's not my job here.
It's not your job here. You're just here to interact.
Yeah.
Look pretty, that kind of stuff.
You bring the topic. I bring the lack of knowledge. Let's be clear. I add to the conversation, but rarely am I extremely knowledgeable on any topic that you're bringing off of the socials.
Yeah, I know, and I kind of like I kind of enjoy like just bringing the blindside topics just to get your initial like yeah, because like we're not discussing this stuff before we get on here and talk about it, right? I mean, this is how it happens whenever we discuss stuff in real life, so I don't feel like it should be any different here. Like, let's get the initial gut reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not as dedicated to surfing the socials.
Yeah.
So I rarely come up with something. There are a few people that I track, and every now and then they say something that just totally annoys me.
Yeah.
And I bring it to you, but it's rare.
It's rare. Well, the next time you have one of those, bring it and we'll talk about it.
I tried to find one. So there's somebody that said something, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and I was like, oh, I need to discuss that with Rob, but now I can't remember and I can't find it. That's the problem with X.
You can't find it?
Well, if you're not on it all the time, like I'll hit it up and there'll be like,
oh yeah, there's like
85 or
posts,
whatever. Yeah. I don't even follow that many people.
Well, they have a search function, so if you kind of knew some words that are in it, you might be able to find it.
But then, much like following politics, I'm like, open it up, look, can't find it. Whatever. Moving on.
I'm not that worried about it.
No, yeah. Moving on. But yeah, I did. Like, I've never been on Spaces myself. I always listen through whatever you have running through Spaces. I did try to find Spaces today, and I couldn't even find that.
Yeah, there's a, it's on the left-hand side, like when you open the menu, there's like a Spaces you can go to, and anybody you're following, if they're having a space or in a space, I think it shows you, and then it'll show you other spaces that
All
are
right.
people you don't follow. I can show you.
I have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Oh, the lady that we were talking to, or not talking to, but listening to, there was a lady in the space,
The one last night.
and
Yeah.
she was saying that she's recently become a feminist in the last 4 years. But leading up to that, when she was trying to be a trad wife, the feminists were the ones leading the charge against putting her down.
Yeah, they were giving her grief for
Yeah.
being a trad wife or a stay-at-home mom or whatever it was she was doing.
Yes.
And yeah, so what was it? I think that was, I mean, as we said, there was just a lot of, because I genuinely would like to kind of like hear that story,
Yeah.
but people weren't allowing it. They were calling
No.
her name. She was calling them names. It was just like, what the heck, man? Like,
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the real thing. But
That is a true statement, though. Like, I experienced that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. I mean, yeah, she's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've seen that in you too.
Yeah.
It's like other kind of working women
Yeah.
will look down on the
They would be
the
like,
housewife.
"What do you do?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What do I
Yeah,
do?"
I'm Rob's wife. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And they'd be like, "But what's your job?" I said, I don't have a career. I stay at home and like I do all the things in the house." Well, how do you identify with like in the world? I'm like, as Avis? I don't understand the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's a real thing. And she was saying that men were trashing on her too for that, but I don't typically see that.
Yeah, I don't think too many men trash on women for not having careers.
Yeah.
I think you know, in the kind of hierarchy of things that are important, when you know, men, like a man having a good solid career that's going to be a good financial provider is pretty high up on the tier, right? But for a man, when he's evaluating a woman, like maybe he's okay with her having a career, but it's not the thing that's important.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, not a thing. So like, why is he going to bash on a woman for not having a career? Because a lot of men don't actually care.
Yeah. So I don't know. You just said I don't bring anything, but I was
Yeah, that was good.
last night when we were listening to that. I was like, yeah, I wished we could have interacted.
Yeah, well, I don't know if she'll ever be on again, but we'll try.
And we've heard her on several spaces.
Oh, we have
listened
that same lady?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. At least one other one. And I'm pretty sure more than one.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what they were talking about last time. I can't remember.
So maybe we'll have the opportunity to ask her, like, what changed? So you were anti, I don't know. I don't think she said she was anti-feminist, but she was like,
No, she is a feminist now.
I know that, but I'm saying before, I don't think she was saying, she just, the fact was she was more like living the trad wife life.
Yeah.
And then for some reason she gave up on that and became a feminist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part was unclear.
And she seemed upset that what she called them feminists. She said feminists were giving her grief and not being nice to her because she didn't have a career and she didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of curious. Well, like why? But now you identify as that thing that you say you didn't like.
Yeah.
So,
And she has, from what I could gather, some sort of career.
yeah,
She did something of certain relevance.
Yeah. So be an interesting story to hear.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, I think I don't know what else. What else should we talk about? I mean, we also listened to Alex Jones yesterday, like rant for a long time because it's kind of some historic stuff potentially happening there. I mean,
Yeah.
from what it sounds like, he was involved in that lawsuit, and so now I think his assets are kind of being either managed or seized or something because it was an exorbitant amount of fines or
That's
penalty
crazy.
that he was given for what they said was speaking untruths. And I don't know all the ins and outs of the case, but it is kind of an interesting head scratching case at times. But long story short, he said that they were basically trying to shut down his business. And
Yeah.
that could happen. Like I guess the police were there yesterday or something, and they were trying to padlock the doors and kick him out of the studio. And And I guess that didn't happen. And now he's saying it could happen any day. I think there's some legal stuff going on. So I don't know, but we listened to him rant for a while because he was like, this may be my last ever broadcast. And for me, like the kind of the interesting part of it is it's just the historical significance of it, which is, you know, I mean, he's like him or hate him, you know, he's been a thing, I think, for like 30 years or something, like kind of a very polarizing, you know, character under his business of this InfoWars. And you know, to kind of see that potentially going by the wayside. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of...
That's crazy.
Yeah, kind of.
So are they only attacking his business? Does he keep his personal assets in this case?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I know. I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
But I just know that the penalties, the financial penalties he received were pretty massive. And I think the whole point was to bankrupt him because there's a lot of people like him to shut up.
Yeah.
Whether you believe what he says or not. I mean, I'm not going to go down that road, but, you know, some people would like him to shut up. And so maybe the best way to do that is just bury him so deep in financial problems.
Yeah. So the money, maybe you can help me understand. So they're taking, you know, large sums of money from Trump. They're taking large sums of money from Alex Jones. Does that money go to pay the deficit, or what are they doing with that money?
What happens? So I'm not aware that they're taking large sums of money from Trump. I mean, he was convicted of those 34 felonies, right? I mean, he's convicted with a crime.
Okay. I thought that they had charged him with some sum of money.
I think there's been, he may have been fined in some way or something.
Okay.
I'm not really sure about that. And, typically that money is earmarked to go to victims. So I think in the case of, Alex Jones, you know, I mean, it was, you know, Sandy Hook was the thing that he was sued over, and some things that he said that, you know, I guess they claimed had caused damages somehow to people. And so, you know, he was given this giant fine financial penalty. And so I believe that goes to the victims, probably some of it to the attorneys of the victims, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. So... yeah, I don't know. Anything else?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Okay. Well, then I think we're probably done rambling for the time being.
All right.
Well, we got some travel coming up.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we're gonna be on the road for 3 weeks.
At a minimum,
maybe 4.
Yeah. We're not very good at planning things. We just sort of wing it.
Well, we kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not complaining.
That's not by accident, right?
No.
We're just kind of like we got some loose plans, and then we're just kind of see how life unfolds in front of us.
Yeah, and we're traveling with others, and they're like, "What are we doing after such and such?" And I was like, "Winging it. I'm not making any plans. See how we feel."
Yeah. Those are the best kind of trips.
Yeah,
where we just kind of get out and do whatever and. Hey, are we having fun doing this? Yes, let's stay longer. If we're not having fun doing this, let's move on and find something else to do.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's not unusual that after a certain amount of time, I look at Rob and I say, get me home now.
Yeah. Sometimes you're ready.
And Rob's like, okay, well, now is like 2 days away, but I'll do my best.
Yeah. Because we go out, like when we say we're traveling, like we're going out in we're going to go exploring. We'll do some off-road driving. We'll do some, you know, we're getting out and doing some vehicle-based, dispersed camping and exploring and hiking and that sort of stuff, right? So it's not like we're flying to a city and being like, oh, this city sucks, let's follow another one. No, like we're in our vehicle. So just for some context there, that when she says sometimes we're 2 days away, that's what she means. Like, we might have gotten ourselves 2 days from home. And she's like, I'm ready to be home. And it's like, okay, well, I can put you on a plane, which has happened before.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'll fly you home and I'll meet you at home in 2 days. Or I'm sorry, you're going to be in the truck for another 2 days until we get home.
I woke up once, we were on a road trip, and he said, oh, while you were sleeping, I booked tickets to fly you and the kids home. I was like, great.
Yeah.
It works out for me.
You were like, you were done. Yeah.
I can sometimes be difficult.
Yeah.
A wee bit.
You're a woman. That happens sometimes. It's okay. I mean, there's really great qualities about you too.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Okay, but back to that. So we're trying to podcast while we're traveling?
We're going to try. I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, it's not going to be this. Right?
Oh, no.
It's not going to be this. Not that we have anything really professional going on here, right? We're just hobbyists doing this.
We're still in the progress stage.
But it won't be this. We're gonna probably be dirty. We probably won't have showered in like 4 days.
Yeah.
At times. I mean, we do shower when we're on the road, but yeah, sometimes we can go days without showers.
Yeah.
Especially when we're in these kind of remote, dispersed areas. But we do have Starlink, so we will be able to do some stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking we'll give it a try. I don't know how successful it will be. We'll have some other people with us. So I mean, hey, maybe we'll pull some people in and they can ramble with us. I don't know. Yeah. Or maybe they'll be like, "Why are you guys wasting your time doing this?"
Yeah. That could be that too.
Could be that.
No.
Well, so yeah, but that's not for a couple of weeks that we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So upcoming thing. We'll have some more rambles right here before that gets here. But something on our minds.
Perfect.
All right. Well, guess that's it. Thanks you guys for sitting with us this long. If you did, and if you got any questions or anything, let us know. Get some topics to talk about. I can't always keep bringing the topics. Like Avis either has to bring some topics, or people listening have to bring some topics.
I don't know who you think you're kidding.
What?
You always have the topics.
I have topics. Yes, I have topics. But let's get some.
You want some diversity.
Let's get some diversity of topics.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that I often like to talk about are nothing like things you like to talk about.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, let's go.
All right. See you guys on the next one.